Good day, dental professionals. Welcome to the Dental Flow podcast. We are dentistry's go-to resource for insights into the business side of dentistry. Your host, Benjamin Suggs, will be helping you navigate through the currents of the ever-changing dental waters. This podcast is packed with innovative practice growth strategies, actionable insights, and expert advice, all tailored to help you elevate your dental practice to the next level. If you're ready to dive in, so are we. Let's get into the flow.
Hello out there, dental superstars. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about reception areas. And the reason we want to talk about this, well, honestly, your reception area, it's not just a room in your practice. It's actually the very first physical impression of your entire dental practice that a patient's going to have. So today we're going to talk about some tips on how you can make your dental reception area the most welcoming and comfortable and memorable space that your patients have ever experienced. So let's jump into it. And let's start by first really just talking about why we care so much about a dental reception area. And the first reason is first impressions really do shape patient loyalty. And what I mean by that is if I walk into your practice and I am thoroughly unimpressed by the state of your reception area, then you have a lot more work to do to try and convince me to do dental treatment in your office. Let's put it this way. If I see a lack of attention to detail in a dental reception area, why would I trust that dentist to do high ticket cosmetic work on my teeth if that's the impression I'm walking into the first time? Everything in your dental practice, every interaction I have with it, up to the point that I sit down and talk to you, to the dentist, is an opportunity to either impress me or turn me off. And we talk about this with our patient experience trainings that we do with our clients, is that generally everyone's coming in at about 50%. They have a 50% trust factor for your practice. Now, we can move them up and down those percentages by giving them good, positive experiences along the way, so that by the time they get to you, the dentist, if we push them up to 100%, they're going to be very open to hearing what you have to say. If you tell them, hey, you need to do this, or you probably would want to do this, they're going to listen to you. If they've had bad experiences, that's going to go down to the negative. They're not going to listen to anything you're going to say. They're probably going to have their arms crossed like this, and they're not going to care what you say. So the first impression that your reception area gives is vitally important. That's why we care. It also provides a bit of an emotional comfort that can reduce anxiety that patients may have about visiting your dental practice. So let's just be honest. The dentist is not people's favorite place to go. Anything we can do to make it more welcoming is going to be a huge plus. And I can tell you that I've been around a few years. When I was a kid and I went to the dentist, it was not welcoming at all. It was the old, just medical looking office with the big sliding glass door to talk to the receptionist. And it was not a pleasant, welcoming environment. Now, we've come a long way. I mean, I walk into some of our clients' dental practices now, and I'm blown away by it's almost like walking into a Starbucks because it's just so homey and welcoming and warm and nice. And it puts you in such a good, relaxed state that you will want to go forward and do the dentistry that's being treatment planned for you. And then one other just side note on this, you'll notice that we are saying the term reception area. You should never refer to your reception area as a waiting room. When you say waiting room, that is a huge turnoff to somebody because that basically implies, oh crap, I'm going to be waiting a long time to get back there to see this dentist. So let's not call it a waiting room. Let's call it a reception area where we are receiving people warmly into the dental practice. So now let's get into some tips, specific things that you can do to make your reception area more of this welcoming environment for your patients. So number one is declutter. Declutter immediately. Remove any unnecessary items from your room. You really want to create a very clean, simple, calming environment. Too much stuff being pushed into a small room, too many seats, too many chairs, a big bulbous couch is taking up half the room. That stuff is going to make people feel cramped, make them feel cluttered. It's not going to give them that warm, open environment. So really think about decluttering. You don't need too many things on the tabletops, magazines, whatever it is. Declutter, simplify, make it easier. One of the things I always recommend that our clients do is you and your team should go sit every now and then in your reception area when patients are not there and just sit there and look around, look up, look down, look around. Look at what they are seeing. If they're sitting in there in your reception area and they're looking up at the ceiling and there's a water stain, that should be fixed. Sometimes we're busy in a dental office. We're running around. We're doing what we have to do. So we don't stop to look around and notice what a patient may be seeing. That could be true with an operatory too. If a patient's leaning back in a chair, staring up at your ceiling, they're looking around and they're seeing all the little imperfections, little issues that you're probably not ever looking at. So take a minute, take a beat, go sit in your reception area and look around and just think about, how can I make this area more welcoming to my patients? So another thing that is not just the physical part of your reception area is your employees. How welcoming is your team and your staff for people who are coming in there? And as a person who's walked into hundreds of dental offices over the years, I can tell you that some are very welcoming and some are not. I mean, honestly, the thing that I dislike the most is when I walk into a dental office and the person behind the reception desk is on the phone and they look at me and they give me the finger. Say, "Hey, I'll be with you in a minute," finger. You want people to be warmly greeted when they walk into your doors. And the beauty of a dental office is that you already know, or you should know, the names of the people that are walking through that door. So do anything you can. If you know that Trisha Johnson is walking in the door at 10:30 for her appointment, greet her by her name. "Hey, Mrs. Johnson. Hey, we're Trisha. We're so glad to see you again. We're so happy that you're here. Please come on in." Train your front desk team to really greet every patient warmly by name and make them feel special, like a VIP from the second they walk through that door. It's only going to help you be able to treatment plan the dentistry that you want to treatment plan. So that's the people angle. The other one is upgrade comfort quickly. So you don't want necessarily, like I said, you don't want an old 70s huge plush couch in your reception area. You want something that's simple, but it should be comfortable. It should be, if it's not a super comfortable seating area, put some cushions on there, put something, some small rugs, things that just really promote coziness. Think about the word coziness, that I feel warm and protected and cozy in this environment, in this space. So go sit with your team in there and think about, what can we do to make everything more comfortable in here? Another thing that we don't think about a lot is smells. I do, when walking into so many dental offices, I can tell you that you walk into the reception area sometime and there's a pretty strong chemical smell that you get. So I've always encouraged our clients to do something about that. So it could be using some scents like lavender or vanilla, or candles, even though I don't really think you want lit candles in your reception area for a dental office. But one of the things I tell my clients to do is, if you have, say, a Keurig machine, which we're going to talk about in a second, have a little pods that are for hot chocolate, and just go out there and brew a hot chocolate a couple times a day. I mean, what amazing smell that is, to walk in and smell hot chocolate. And that is warm and cozy and embracing, almost, that smell. It's embracing you, which you wouldn't really think a smell can do, but it can. So really do think about that as well. Take a beat, sit there and see what that area smells like. Is it a welcoming, pleasant, cozy smell? Or is it a chemical, harsh, acidic smell? Think about that. Music, ambiance. Now, I don't really think you should be playing music in a reception area, because people have such different taste in music. And honestly, that's also pretty true with the TV as well. If you are running a television in your reception area, which is totally fine, please don't put on the news. Please, please, please don't put on the news, because all the news is slanted one way or the other. So if you're running Fox News, you don't know who you're ticking off in your reception area. If you're running CNN, you don't know who's going to be ticked off at that. Stay away from the news altogether. I see a lot of medical offices, dental offices, that they do stuff like the Weather Channel, or even that can be disturbing. Or usually it's some kind of a HGTV home improvement show, because that's the most non-offensive thing you can possibly put on a television. So that does make sense, though. That is a common thing. The reality TV without the drama. That is always a good idea to have something like that on. Another big one, and I know most dental offices do this, but if you're not, please do provide Wi-Fi. And definitely you could even provide charging stations. You can go on Amazon, and for like $30 a pop, you can buy a couple of different options for charging stations for different types of phones. When you don't want a lot of cords everywhere, but they just have like little stands. In fact, I have one here at my desk. Let's see if I can show it to you. Is that showing up? Yeah. So put a little stand out like that someone can just put their phone right on there, and it'll charge quickly. So people are running around all the time and their batteries are running out. But if you can provide just a little creature comfort like a phone charger, that's a big deal, especially when you get into if you're seeing teenagers or, people in their 20s. Those people are wearing those phones out, man. Those batteries are going quick. So if you can have a little charging station, that is key. Now with Wi-Fi, it seems like a no-brainer, but not everyone does it. But I can tell you, I'll tell you an anecdote here. I've had a client, a pediatric dentist, for over a decade, and he's been with us. We helped him start his practice 10 years ago. He's crushing it, doing great. But in that process of like 10 years, we've redesigned his website 2 or 3 times, because, the website we had 10 years ago wasn't cutting it 4 years later, 4 years later, 4 years later. So recently we redesigned his website again. I sent him a link so he could take a look at it. And one of his feedback to me was, he said, Ben, I don't understand. I love it, but I don't understand. Why do you keep mentioning Wi-Fi on this webpage? Like, you say it twice, we have Wi-Fi. Like, I don't understand. And I said, well, doctor, have you read your Google reviews? Because we did. One of the things we always do when we're going to redesign or even work with a new dentist is we go read their reviews and we look at what their actual patients are saying that they like about that practice. And in his, there was a ton of reviews from parents who were taking their kids to his pediatric dental practice, and they loved the Wi-Fi because it was easily accessible. They could get on it quickly. They didn't have to go, oh, what's the password? What's this? What's that? It was just a boom, boom. They were on the Wi-Fi, so they could open up their laptop and they could sit there and they could make that 30 minutes to an hour that they were taking their kid or kids to the pediatric dentist useful time, that they're not just sitting there scrolling their phone, but they're on their laptop and they're doing some work and they're using that time wisely. But all these parents had commented that, oh, I love the fact that they have Wi-Fi so I can actually do some work while I'm there. So when I explained that to him, he said, I had no idea. I haven't been going and reading those reviews, but that's great. Let's keep it there because that makes sense. If people really do value that, let's talk about it. So really talk about your Wi-Fi, but also please have it because it is such a convenient thing for people to use. Refreshments. We talked about a Keurig machine before. That's always a nice touch. We have a client that has an actual Starbucks machine in their reception area where they can actually go, and it's a beautiful machine, not cheap by any means. I won't go into the prices, but if you're interested in something like that, you can reach out to me and I'll share the information with you. Not cheap, but patients love it, man. It's a Starbucks like kiosk coffee machine that they can actually make their favorite Starbucks coffee and have it, shoot out into the cup in a nice Starbucks cup and drink it. People love it. It is such a big, nice touch that people take it. They value it so much that they're always talking about how great it is. And in their reviews, you see that all the time. Great doctor, great team. Oh, and I love the Starbucks machine in the reception area. So if you don't want to invest huge money in a Starbucks machine, that's fine. You should definitely have refreshments, and that should be bottles of water. It should be some kind of a coffee machine if people would like to have coffee. It could be tea too. A lot of people don't like to drink coffee, and hey, We know it stains our teeth, so have some tea options. And some people will actually put some kind of healthy snacks out there. I don't really think you should. Honestly, I don't think people come to a dentist's office expecting to get snacks. I think it also just means that there's more stuff in their teeth when you guys are cleaning it. But definitely want to have refreshments, drinks for people, options. And even if it means that, I want to, leaving the practice, I just want to grab a water on my way out so I can drink it when I jump back into my truck. That's great. A lot of people leave the dentist with, they've been having all this stuff in their mouth and they could use a water. So have it there for them as an option. It's a very welcoming thing. It's a very convenient thing. I've worked with a dentist in the past that he said having that water cooler with a little refrigerator with all the waters isn't good enough. So he actually would have a greeter in his practice that would go out and greet people when they arrived. And so this person's job was to have the names of all the people arriving, go out there and greet them by name, and then offer them a water, but not just say, oh, here's a refrigerator full of water. Here's a refrigerator full of water. Let me grab you one. Let me grab you one and hand it to you. So it was this incredible VIP experience that made people just feel so special that it made them want to do what the doctor told them to do. It was a very, very, very valuable thing. And then next, figure out a way to use your reception area where you can showcase positive reviews. This could be reviews that you flash up on the TV. This could be reviews that you print out and put in different places in the area, in the reception area. But also really think about which reviews you would put up there, because you hear that all the time that, a general dentist says like, oh my gosh, my patient came to get their teeth cleaned and they had veneers. I was like, wow, when did you get veneers? How come you didn't come to me for veneers? I didn't even know you wanted veneers. Well, if you put reviews of those types of services you want to do more of, like implants, veneers, all those things, then people will see that and they'll say, maybe I should talk to this dentist about getting veneers, or ask how much they cost or how they work or what they are. So having those reviews out there is not just, hey, look how great we are. It's also putting thoughts in your patient's head about the other services that you offer that they could take advantage of. So it's always a really good idea to highlight those positive reviews in your reception area. I think, honestly, if you're going to do it, you do need to make it look good. Don't print out it on a, piece of printer paper and stick it on the wall, but, go somewhere where they can make you some signage with those reviews and you can post them. Try and have the person's face of the person who gave you the review, if you can, to make it more personal and more real. But reviews in your reception area is a good idea. Another thing people will do, and this doesn't really enhance the area, but they'll put marketing messages like brochures, pamphlets about other stuff, services you do. That's totally fine. But I'm not a huge fan of the wall of pamphlets when you're walking to a dental office. Make them subtle. A few here and there is fine, but you don't want them all over your reception area. So we've talked about a lot of good tips today on how you can make your reception area more welcoming and more friendly. I hope you've enjoyed it. I think there's some things here that we don't often think about. Everyone thinks about cushions and chairs and couches, but we don't often think about smells and just the actual greeting from our team members when people walk in. So take these tips and sit down. Like I said, go sit in your reception area, take a look around, take a beat. Think about, how can I make this area more welcoming and better for my patients? And I think you will see a difference in getting more patients to convert more treatment, because they will be more relaxed and more on the path that you want them to take. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining us for this Dental Flow podcast episode. If you enjoyed today's discussion and wish to stay updated on future episodes, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with colleagues and friends. For more insights and discussions on dental marketing, we encourage you to continue riding the Dental Flow wave and tune into the next episode. Keep on smiling, learning, and flowing with the Dental Flow podcast.